Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Skullgirls Get Gr8. This is the audio test we will be starting soon. Please let me know if any of the commentators this week are a little too loud or a little too quiet. We want all of us to be about equally as loud, and the game should be just barely audible. If there are any recommendations that you would like to provide, please feel free to do so. We want the stream to be just perfect for you. How is everyone doing today? Anyone even here yet? Absolutely not. That's what I want to see. That's not what I want to see. I will be muting myself for a brief moment. I am going to need to make matchups. I want to verify people here in Twitch chat so they know I actually am gone. No, I'm just going to wait till people show up in Twitch chat so I can tell them I'm going to go away. They'll only miss me when I'm gone. Something, something, something. That's how the song goes, right? Okay. Yeah, anyone showing up to Twitch chat just yet? Hey there, Hydra. Good to see that you are here. Just keep people posted. I will be muting myself for a brief moment, just so I can finish making up the matchups. Hey there, Loomis. Good to see you here. BRB. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I have returned. Let's see what we got. Hey there, Training Wheels. Good to see you here. I think I just missed you when I said BRB. Star Lily, how you doing? 420 is Skullgirls Day now. No, official Skullgirls Day is like November 16th or something. It was the day Arby's retweeted. It was like a bunch of Skullgirls related things happened at the exact same time. It was like Arby's made like Philia fan art, like Arby's as in the fast food chain. And then at the same time, there was a new Indivisible announcement. There was a new announcement on the physical release of Skullgirls, which we haven't heard about for a year and a half. There was like basically a bunch of stuff Skullgirls related happened all at the same time, and it was by complete accident. It was super cool. It was officially deemed Skullgirls Day by Sharpie ages ago. We just had our last we had our second Skullgirls Day this year. Not last year. A few months ago. So what I'm trying to say. Look. I'm saying is Skullgirls Day is taken. What isn't taken is this lobby. So we're gonna keep on doing that audio test. We're gonna do one quick set, or quick match, maybe 1 or 2 games. We're gonna fight. We're gonna find out what's going on. If the audio is okay, then we will continue. Reminder, we want all the commentators, which in this case I think is just me, unless somebody spontaneously joins. All the commentators should be about equally as loud, and the game should be just barely audible. If you need me to adjust, like if the game is drowning me out or vice versa, please, please, please let me know. Hey there, Yo-Yo. How you doing? Does the stream have delay? Not by much. We kind of have to. Like, it's almost impossible to make a delayless stream in this case. Yeah, like Training Wheels kind of has it for things that aren't, you know, this. For most games, it's a matter of like, well, if it's a fighting game, that they know exactly what I'm thinking. If it's a card game, that they know exactly what my card is. You can like stream snipe. Mini Glance got the name right. Shadow, unfortunately, it's too late to sign up. Mostly because like I don't have time to adjust all the matchups and everything like that. Today is gonna be as short of a stream as I possibly can make it, because I gotta run as fast as possible. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Did anyone find any issue with the audio by anything? Crank, don't do it to him. I'm sorry, I didn't know. See, I played Skullgirls for 10 hours yesterday. I was sick, so all I did was sit in front of my monitor, had a stream on in the background on my TV, and just played Skullgirls for 10 hours straight. So my brain is just like on overdrive right now. Audio is good as far as you can tell. Thank you so much. Oh, you're phoning. Yes, we're gonna go ahead and get you started. If you are participating today, please, please, please join the Steam group chat. The Steam group chat is, of course, this. There. So join the Steam group chat. That's our main way of getting in touch with you. If you're not in there, it's going to be harder for us to get in touch with you. If you're in our Discord, we'll still probably find a way. But if we can't find you quickly, we will have to skip your match. Yeah, every match is public. Every match is on stream. The VODs are recorded, etc., etc. The lobby's not public, but the lobby can be found or joined by clicking on this link. Where the hell is this? There it is. If you enter this link into your browser or whatever, it'll launch Steam for you and open up the game into our lobby. That's how we invite people ever since Steam made the change where you can't invite people that aren't on your friends list. It's a pain in the butt. That's the best we can do. Alright, Fawning's in here. Cool. Worked out. I believe their opponent is Vider. Let me double check on that, because I didn't actually double check on that. Yes it is. Awesome. How can you show support for SG? Well, I'm glad you asked. There are millions of ways. So, Crank, are you ready for 72 hours of Skullgirls at Combo Breaker? Yes. I literally hope I don't have to sleep. I've been sleeping 14 hours a day just to charge up, you know? That's how my body works. I'm a Tesla car battery. Alright, good red burst bait there. I don't actually... Yeah, I think there's a red burst bait because I think it would have fast fell through the burst startup in case they did pop. Okay, but that one wasn't. So you're losing track of where you are on the IPS system. So instead of red burst bait, I'm starting to think you don't know what the IPS system is. So, for those of you guys who do not know what the IPS system is in Skullgirls, IPS stands for Infinite Protection System. How it works is you can't start 2 strings in the same combo twice in a row. If you're not familiar with what the term string or chain, etc., how you can find out is by typing !TERMS into our Twitch chat. It'll lead you to a fighting game glossary, fighting game term glossary. So that'll help you guys out. Another thing you can do is join our Discord by typing !DISCORD. There you can ask any of the mods there. All the mods are more than familiar with fighting games in general, especially Skullgirls. So you can ask any sort of questions if you have any sort of concern about what I'm telling you right now. And of course the VODs go up right after the stream, so you can always watch your matches right after the stream, and that's actually what we recommend. As a common courtesy reminder, do not have the stream on or anything like that while you are playing your games. Watch your stuff after. Long story short, just watch yourself after. We also recommend playing on Ethernet. In fact, actually request it. It's kind of the most respectful thing you can do for your opponent when you are playing a fighting game online. You might think you have really, really good Wi-Fi, but the fact of the matter is that there are packet drops no matter how good your internet connection is through Wi-Fi. So you are best off playing on Ethernet. There were a little bit spikes of lags there. That's kind of the only reason I really brought that up. Mike C summed it up. First string is free. Don't start your next string with the same button. Combo's legit. Sort of. Your first 2 strings might be free. In fact, your first 4 strings might be free under really specific circumstances, but it's unlikely. Let me see if I have the resource handy for the IPS system.
Headgear is my gimmick. Gentlemen and ladies, it's showtime!
I do not. If someone has the IPS system link handy, please go ahead and provide it in Twitch chat. But if you Google... Actually, let me just try Googling Skullgirls. Yeah, cool, and it talks about the basic terminology and everything. Awesome. I'm actually gonna add this later, because this is useful. Okay. So, look at this link. This link takes you to the Skullheart forums. The Skullheart forums are like your best source for interacting with Skullgirls players, if not Discord. If you come from the Reddit, leave the Reddit. Don't bother. Go ahead and just chill with people in Skullheart or on the Skullgirls general Discord. Unrelated to that, what I linked is the IPS system. The IPS system. IPS system is redundant, isn't it? It's just like the ATM machine. Let me take a deep breath. So if you're using the same buttons over and over again, you're going to see red/purplish sparks start flying out of you. Because of that, you want to vary up how each string in your combo looks, and that's the only way you can make long combos work. I understand your desire to make your own combos. Everyone has that desire, but it's significantly easier building on the shoulder of giants. You can't build your own stuff without knowing what other people have made already for you. So I highly recommend looking into the B&B Compendium, a third resource. I'm giving you a lot of stuff to look into because you guys are new to the game and there's a lot to learn because Skullgirls is a crazy game. So I'm gonna go, if you can type !BNB into Twitch chat, you get a link to the B&B Compendium. These aren't the most optimized combos by any means, but it is a few combos for all characters. Combos that help you understand the most common links and most common chains used by your character. We don't tell you to learn a big combo because it's important for like damage or is super impressive or anything like that. No, it's actually just the first step. If you're not able to do a B&B, you aren't familiar enough with your character. If you're not familiar enough with your character, we can't start talking about intermediate or even advanced level tactics. So these are all the fundamentals. Understand the IPS system, understand the B&B, and go chill with people that play Skullgirls. That's the 3 most important things for you guys. In addition to that, I'll say whatever I can based on your matches, but like these are fundamental things that you guys need to establish first. I also highly recommend playing the tutorial if you haven't done that. The tutorial covers everything about chains, strings, IPS, so on and so forth. But it doesn't cover it in depth. If you want an in-depth instruction, it's the other stuff. Okay. Something I'm really liking on both of you guys is you guys are kind of being sparing with the heavy attacks, especially the Valentine. Vidar, you're being pretty good with not overcommitting to like a heavy without an assist behind you. You're poking with like lights that reach far away. You're not like committing into medium, heavy, or anything like that. It's a common beginner mistake because medium and heavy moves are so satisfying to hit with, and they also are very, very rewarding. Nonetheless, it is a bad habit to have, especially at the beginning. You want to iron that out right away. The first thing you guys can work on is like stringing your lights into mediums or using assist to cover your pressure, and Vidar is definitely doing that. Fawning, you're playing solo, so you don't get that benefit. What you have to do when you're a solo player is you gotta be really, really worried about what we call neutral. So neutral in fighting games is when neither player is actively applying pressure. No one's technically blocking and no one's technically getting hit. In that state, it's all about understanding what would my opponent try to do, how can I how can I take advantage of it, and how can I not fall victim to it. These 3 questions are really, really important in neutral. So, can you change characters? Yes, this is not a tournament, so you can do whatever the heck you want. You can change to whatever character you want. It can be on a win, it can be on a loss, I don't care. This isn't a tournament. Our tournaments are on Wednesdays. Skullgirls Get Gr8 every 8 p.m. Eastern. Tune in for those. Those are fun. Anyone can join.
Roll camera and
Shameless self-promotion on my own stream. Oh, almost converted off of that. That could have been cool. Okay. So you seem to be able to do at least 1 full string. That's pretty good. Believe it or not, there's a lot more you can do than just 1 string. So that's why I highly recommend checking out the B&B Compendium. I can't emphasize this enough. It is probably the most important first step that you need to do with your gameplay. Nice use of scalpels trying to make it safe. Another thing you can do, this is highly not recommended by most people, but light bypass is technically safe on block. And by safe, I don't mean you can keep pressing buttons. I mean you won't get punished like that. So, Vidar, you made the same mistake I was complimenting you on not making, where you overcommitted. As soon as you hit them with a light, you kept on going all the way into a heavy. As soon as you do that, your opponent can hit you. So I want you to rewind about like 15 seconds if you're watching this replay, and notice how your Valentine got hit. Your Valentine got hit because you pressed the heavy button, they blocked it, and then they got a light on you. Light bypass is safe, but has a tendency to whiff due to people usually push blocking. Yeah. So I'm not even going to worry about watching your opponent push blocking right now. Right now I'm just going to try to advise on what's safe and what's not safe in general. Because technically, everything is unsafe if you push block, right? Or rather, everything can be unsafe. I shouldn't make a blanket statement like that. Game 5. Oh, this is game 4. Oh, and that's some lag. Beautiful. 11 out of 10. Alright, we got kicked back. Let's try this again. Game 4. One more once. So I said a lot of stuff right away because there's a lot of fundamentals you guys need to establish. A lot of fundamental things you guys gotta get used to.
Gentlemen and ladies, it's showtime!
Okay. Facing out with jumping hard. Okay, so this is something I don't recommend actually worrying about in beginner bracket fawning, but if you plan on sticking to solo, which is totally okay, I don't think that playing solo is necessarily a bad idea. It is going to be hard, but you can make solo work. A thing about solos is that there's only one way they can heal. So you'll notice that damage comes in two forms, right? Like sometimes you lose health and completely and that's a black bar, and sometimes you sort of lose health and that's a red bar. That health is technically lost, like you will die if your entire health bar is red, but that health can be regenerated. Now normally it regenerates when you're tagged out, which is why Vidar has an advantage, where when Vidar takes a lot of damage and has a bunch of red health, they can tag and just kind of play slowly and let their red health heal. You, as a solo character, can't do that. You can't tag out. So what you do instead is you snap. And Vidar, alternatively, can also snap you. And that'll give you back 2/3 of your health if your snap hits your opponent's character, and 1/3 of your health if your snap hits your opponent's assist. The way you snap is you quarter circle forward, either medium punch and medium kick or heavy punch and heavy kick, depending on what character you want to snap out. If you don't fully understand how snaps work, go play the Skullgirls tutorial. Highly recommend it. Their normals are indeed disjointed. Yes, the chair is completely invulnerable.
Can I have a cheeseburger? Gentlemen and ladies, it's showtime!
So it really does seem like the connection between you two guys is really, really rough. Going forward, here are the few things I recommend. Play on the stage called Under the Bridge. There's no evidence for this, but everyone says it causes the least lag. That's one. Advice number 2, make sure you guys are playing on Ethernet. I mentioned this earlier. Advice number 3, make sure the stream is paused and any sort of like video or download or anything in the background is also paused while you are playing Skullgirls. One more bit of information was... Hold on, I'm totally blanking out. I had one more thing for you guys. ... Oh, GGPO, yes. So before you can play with anybody online, it'll ask you, what is GGPO setting you want? GGPO is how many milliseconds of delay, or how many frames of delay you want, rather, based on your ping with the person, which is measured in milliseconds. So it'll give you some arbitrary number with a weird color to it, and it'll recommend like 1 GGPO, 2 GGPO, whatever, so on and so forth. So what I do is I personally recommend 1 per every 80. This is the same setup I think that Killsage uses, where for every 80 milliseconds of latency, you set your GGPO to 1. So 160 would be 2, 80 would be 1. 240 you shouldn't be playing. I'm noticing a pretty rough connection between you. Thank you, Vidar. We'll go ahead and play one more game. That was technically 5 games, but the last game was completely invisible. Like, I could not tell what was going on, so I'll let you guys play one more. Nougat, don't ready up. Don't ready up! No! Alright, that's fine. It was 5 games anyway. You guys can play more matches offline or off the stream, and you guys can send me VODs or send anybody in the Discord VODs, and people can analyze it for you. But the first 3 things that I mentioned to you before are the most important things. Just learn a B&B, understand what IPS is, play the tutorial. These 3 things are the most important. I would say you guys play more, but you ended up fighting up a completely different person. Normally you guys would only play 5 flat matches, so since you guys played 5 flat matches, I'll go ahead and just end it there. Mostly because we're time crunched here. Just today. Disjointed means like it's like a sword, where you can kick a person in the leg, but you can't kick a person in the sword, right? That's what disjointed means. Disjointed means that it's kind of not connected to their hitbox. Or their hurtbox, I should say. Like, if you fought a Parasol, you know how if you hit Parasol Umbrella, it doesn't do anything? Or if you're fighting Cerebella, you know if you hit her giant arms, it doesn't do anything? Same idea. That's a better way of putting it. Thank you, Yo-Yo. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and get our next match on stream. Our next matchup is going to be Dry Eyes versus Hydra. Hydra, I think you're here. Dry Eyes asked me to ping them when it was their turn. Sure thing. Let's see. I apparently don't have you as a friend, Hydra, so I'm gonna ask you to join via the Steam link. Hopefully it works for you. Oh, I need a new Steam link. Darn it. There we go. Hydra's ready to go. Alright, you seem to be good to go. Both people have readied up. Things are looking smooth. Sort of, not necessarily mint clients, and I'll explain that in a bit. I'm gonna focus on this matchup first. If I don't answer right away, remind me either in the Discord or DM me somewhere, and I'll explain a bit more detail on why Disjointed isn't necessarily safer. Okay, A-Train's at neutral. Every big band does it, not recommended. It is not exactly a good thing to do unless you have an assist to cover you and make it safe. Dry Eyes, I think we've told you this like literally every week. You gotta stop doing that at neutral. Just throwing out heavy brass, A-Train, and things like that. It's mad unsafe. That beautiful soundstone. So a big thing about band neutral, this is more of an intermediate topic. I don't like talking about neutral or character-specific things at the beginner bracket level. But a big thing about band neutral is that you always want to try and control more and more space. So I noticed a lot of the time what you were doing is you were trying to approach with the hard drop kick, which was like jumping heavy kick, I believe. And you fall to the ground and then you can tech safely. All tech frames are invulnerable, and you are 0 as soon as you're done teching. If you're not sure what I mean by you are 0, don't worry about it. It's an intermediate term. It's frame data. Long story short, what I'm trying to get at is when you hard dropped, that's an okay approach option, but I'm not even going to worry about that right now. It's you hard dropped and then teched backwards. After you hard drop, tech forwards. Try to build space on your opponent. Try to take away how much terrain your opponent can traverse. Because you cover a lot of space with a lot of your attacks. So you being able to control more space is really, really advantageous for you. Otherwise, people can just zone you out, pressure you out, keep you out, and just keep on hurting you from a distance, and that can really screw with you.
Keep it cute, huh?
Okay, you approach with jumping medium kick. So notice how jumping medium kick would, as a round start, would only work if your opponent down backs round start and just sits there. That's once again a bit more of a neutral thing. Something you should be aware of. It wasn't a bad idea though. It's just it didn't seem like something Hydra would do. That's more of an intermediate thing. Again, don't worry about it too much. I'm not gonna bash on it because it's technically a good approach. Jumping light kick might have been a little bit better, but not by much. It's circumstantial. Raw tags! Okay, Hydra. I'm sure you've heard me spiel about raw tags before, but basically how it goes is raw tags are super, super unsafe. It's cool because, oh man, all that startup is completely invulnerable. I get to hit my opponent and be completely invulnerable at the same time. That's amazing. If your opponent blocked you, you'd be screwed. Also, fun fact about burst space, this might be informative to both of you. If they burst bait in the air, you're vulnerable all the way until you touch the ground. That's kind of the risky thing about burst baits in general. Triggering a burst bait in general. A lot of times it's like, oh, my opponent's gonna be forced to block this, so therefore my burst bait will be my burst will be safe. So my opponent failed to bait me. That's not always true if you're even slightly in the air, because now not only will they block the burst, you will be safe, but now you have to fall to the ground, and you will be unsafe while you're falling to the ground. Taking a step back, in case you didn't know, if your opponent blocks your burst bait, or if your opponent burst baits you and you burst and then they block it, it is safe. If you're both on the ground.
Gentlemen and ladies, it's showtime!
Burst baits are incredibly fundamentally... I shouldn't say fundamental. It's an incredibly important aspect of the game, and it's fundamentally tied into how this game is played at a high level. It's a big component of the whole quote-unquote rock, paper, scissors mechanic of this fighting game. I wouldn't want to call it rock, paper, scissors because it's a lot more complicated than that. Team fighters tend to be a lot more complicated than rock, paper, scissors. Good work spacing it with tier. Trying to get in. Oh, you delayed, cancelled into hard kick. That gave your opponent time to beat extend. They did beat extend you, were unable to convert. Dry eyes, learn how to convert off of that. If you learn a mid-screen BNB with Big Band, it uses beat extend to pick off of OTG after crouching medium punch. That will help you get used to using your OTG-less combo right after beat extend. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, reach out to me. I'll give you an example. Yes, the fundamental neutral tool. It's always scary to be standing on the ground against Big Band, because if he uses Giant Step, he can convert with Heavy Breath into SSJ, do a lot of damage. Scary. Okay, so you went for a PVGC beat extend. I respect that. Mistimed it a little bit, and also probably not the right thing to do in that situation. So, a big thing about fighting games, every single fighting game you ever play in your life, every single game you play in your life, there's this concept called autopiloting, where you keep trying to do the same thing because you're used to it and your reflexes take over, or you're in an adrenaline panic and that's all you can think about doing. You push blocked and went into beat extend even though Parasol was nowhere near close enough for beat extend to hit. If you push block and you notice Parasol slid away, don't put beat extend in. Trust me, you can do it. It's a. Some people say it's like, oh no, I had to put it in way too early, so there's no way I could be able to do that on reaction. No, you will learn. It may take some practice, but that's something you gotta keep in the back of your mind. You gotta watch your opponent when you're PBGC beat extending. Symbols into sweep. Okay, so the thing about sweep is it puts people into a techable knockdown state, and they're completely invulnerable. You can't convert off of them unless they're in OTG. So in that situation, they were in OTG because they were in a knockdown state. So you technically could have done something by hitting them with sweep after sound stun, but why though? There's so many better things you could do. Next time, just land into A-Train. That is an appropriate time to do A-Train. Specifically, hit him with sound stun, then A-Train. Instead of hit him with sound stun and go sweep. That was an okay thing to do there. That was not an A-Train at neutral. I want to specifically point out that things like that are okay, because you specifically reacted to them throwing a fireball. A PBGC beat extend there would have worked. Alright, so I'm gonna emphasize this right now, because there's so many things about neutral or so many intermediate topics I want to talk about, but like I literally know that there's no point in telling you guys about this right now. These guys need to learn B&Bs. Guys need to be able to do a full-on dizzy combo. If you can do a full-on dizzy combo, I need to see it. I've yet to see more than like 2 or 3 strings at a time, I think. Who needs full-on dizzy combos when you can mix to death? You're right. You didn't drop your combo, it was just hilarious bad manners. No, in all seriousness though, at the highest level of play, like we want to try to teach you to play right? Like, we don't think practice makes perfect, we think perfect practice makes perfect. So, at the most advanced level, you're going to be doing set play. And set play means you are not going to be resetting people to death for no reason. Sometimes you will just because you're trying to send a message, but it's a very reckless thing to do. Oh my god, this is some dirty Fugler stuff. Oh my god, that conversion. Hi Jay, you're playing an intermediate next week. Your Fuqua is fine. Especially your Fuqua is fine. Play an intermediate next week. Dry Eyes, you're so close to playing an intermediate. There are like so many small things you can do. And can you set play on solo? Absolutely. Fuqua is set play the character. Let me see if I can send Nougat a message to tell him not to ready up. Nougat IG, Nougat IG. How do I... How do I find the recently played menu? The heck? Alright, so for our final matchup, I'm gonna fight Training Wheels on Ice. Fight me, nerd! You barely touched the surface. You are absolutely correct, Hydra. The fact of the matter is, though, is you've touched enough of the surface that you can do fine in intermediate. You need to be able to hit max on Dizzy, you need to be able to do like a reset, and you need to be able to understand neutral at a very fundamental level. And you definitely have that. I think you're viable for intermediate bracket. Frank, what can I do a bit better since you said there were so many little things? Get back to me on that after the set. What else was there? What else? Let's stick at Daisy. No, Daisy's not a reversal. People need to understand this.
Ready?
Every single character in the game besides, like... No, literally every single character in the game has a way out of Daisy.
Target confirmed.
I'm trying to think of a single character that does not have a way out of Daisy. Kind of Robo. Kind of. Oh, okay. Careful not to card cancel your Fugazi Knuckle. Nope. I'm bad. I shouldn't have dropped that. What's that? Okay. You're at an intermediate level. I can talk about pretty crazy things. So for one, use your assist in your pressure. You kind of do, but not really. I also didn't give you much of a chance, so I guess that doesn't really count. But, like, I want to keep an eye open for that. That's one thing I want to definitely keep an eye on. Like, are you using your assist in your pressure to make things safe and whatnot? Another thing is you're not actually using setups that are quote-unquote good. And if you want to talk about double setups, talk to JP. If you want to talk about parasol setups, talk to Penny. There are plenty of setups you can do that are completely safe, especially Parasol. Parasol is a character that literally never has to be in danger and can do some of the most disgusting resets in the game. So, because of that... Hold on, I can't talk while I'm playing. I... Swap. Got killed there. That was sloppy. Messed up. I got cocky. I overestimated my 1.2 damage, or 1.3 damage. Why's it gotta be like this? All around me are familiar faces. Come on, you got 3 meter, you can kill me. What a shame. Almost. One clean hit confirmed and an optimized combo you could have. Okay, but there are setups you can... So, you called Silly Slide really, really late there, after your Parasol button, to try and make it up, keep on applying pressure. You could have forced me to stand the ground and not jump over Parasol and things like that. There's other things where it's like... There are lots of times where you can press a heavy button, a special button, the assist will make it safe, and you can keep going, you can do safe jumps, so only if I reversal with like a DP or Liver Mortis, that'll be the only time you'd actually... not hit me, and you'll touch the ground and you'll be completely safe, be able to block and punish me for being able to block my super. Like, there's all sorts of good, crazy nonsense you can do. Yeah, you gotta look into this. Just start doing research or start asking questions in the Discord about how can I make my reset safe. Let's go. Let's go.
After you.
Also, use Pillar as an anti-air. Pillar's the god button, and Squig is really, really bad against anti-airs. So just Pillar for days. Oh my god, it's nice to be able to talk about just like matchup-specific things.
Ready, number 13.
Sucks. Kill me! Why? Ladies of standing hard punches and anti-air. That is a good button. Not the best button. It is a good button. Penny loves that button as an anti-air. I don't know why. It has a gap. It's kind of easy to exploit. Oh, good. I'm not. Good PVGC grab. I don't know why you grabbed me there, but that's okay. Okay, so Parasol has Bite Guys. She can use that to make a lot of her pressure safe. Use that move more. Double has Monster. You had health advantage over me? You should have put me in Monster Jail. There's a you probably are familiar with Monster Jail, especially with how much you've been playing this game. But just in case. Double's Monster Jail is you put down a Monster Puddle and try to limit how much screen space I have in moving around. The less I have, the better for you. You don't ever want me to actually trigger your monster. You want to try and protect your monster as much as possible, but you also want me to be like forced to try and approach you through monster, which I can't do safely. I'd be forcingly putting myself into defensive state, basically. Like I'd have to block and respect the monster no matter what. And that's in the ideal scenario, right? Well, I guess in my ideal scenario, I would hit you, but you ideally should never have to experience that. I have center stage, but that's a whole specific character exchange. Oh, Eliza. Okay.
This ends now.
Also, I'm pretty sure Twitch chat is saying plenty of more useful things, I hope. Because I can't see Twitch chat right now. But keep an eye out for that. Damn it. I need to make you pillar more. Good pillar. Nice approach. That was a good dash jump. So now in that situation, I'm gonna hope you tried to pillar because I wanted to get to something important. The reason I wanted you to get to start pillaring more is because what characters will do is they'll start taking advantage of the fact that you're pillaring so much. Because in that situation, I think you tried to pillar in the corner and then you got hit by my setup. Because specifically pillar is a charge DB, which means it's not actually in what's it called? It means you can't mash it. So that means if I delay when the reset is, you no longer can mash or hit me with pillar. See what I did? So like I was specifically trying to teach you that, where not only do you have to pillar more because A, the matchup calls for it, but you also have to know when it's safe to use pillar because pillar is unlike any other DPs. You can't keep trying. You only get one chance. Alright, it's time for the big boss. You ready for this? I'm gonna hit you with the quick match special. So we know that this stage is supposed to be the least laggy stage. What's the most laggy stage? Like in case I want to go full Wi-Fi ban one day. I have too much alcohol or something. Oh, nice conversion off the silly slide. Probably could have converted off of a... I think you can convert off of standing medium kick into crouching hard and then go into a launcher combo. That might be a little bit better. Oh, you accidentally up neutral jumped instead of up forwarded. So, the general... Okay, this is like a weird thing I've noticed about the jump mechanics because of how buffers work in this game. But what you actually want to do if you're going to try and jump is you want to... God, I cannot play one. This is so hard. That is weird. I think you pressed the wrong button there. That's not what I wanted. Good punish. Oh, he went low. Yeah, that didn't save you.
Okay, nothing left to see here.
Alright, so what the hell was I trying to say? Oh yeah, so how jumping works. So I noticed you got neutral jump once instead of up forward, which I'm pretty sure is what you wanted. So this is a weird thing about buffers and stuff. During jump startup, if it detects you tapped forward, it will treat it as an up forward, like you'll jump forward. But jump startup is only 4 frames. That's a really small window. So if you are pressing up in the upward, like the up forward direction, in like the 9 o'clock, not the 9 o'clock, the number 9 position, if you're trying to push towards that, what ends up happening is if you accidentally were a little bit too up, it'll read that as an up, and if you don't press forward within 4 frames, or up forward within 4 frames, it won't jump forward, it'll jump straight up. Which is why you should fill the buffer with a forward first. So it's what I'm trying to say is it's better to go forward and then up for up forward, rather than up and then forward. Which is counterintuitive, but that's just kind of the way this buffer works. Ultimately, if your execution is 10 out of 10, that won't matter. But to be a little bit safer, try to make your up forwards a little bit more forward than up. Is what I'm trying to say. It's a really, really specific thing, but it'll solve your getting neutral jump instead of up forward problem. Not everyone else. Guys, remember that, like, I played this game since 2012. I have no excuse for being this bad. I should be getting, like, top 16s and shit. And why do you say that, Yo-Yo? What about me is acceptable? Remotely acceptable. Alright, this is not Pity Encore Hour, so I'm gonna just take your compliment and say, hell yeah I am! I'm fucking fantastic. My voice is selling me on this game. Hello, Tame. How you doing today? Good to see you here. This is not about me. It's about training wheels and also dry eyes. Dry eyes, you mentioned earlier. What are small things you could have done better? Alright, so there's like a lot of small things in neutral. You need to e-brake more to approach. You gotta stop using the things and stuff like that. Like, I say those stuff all the time. There's also small things like, oh, hey, here's, like, you should e-brake into DP a little bit more instead of always defensively using DP. DP can be used as an offense tool, too. You should also be doing things like... God, I wish I could rewatch your set, because there were like 3 or 4 specific things that I wanted to say that were a little bit too much on the intermediate side. It's like after DP, you can E-brake under and then use crouching medium punch as a vortex, because crouching medium, or sorry, not medium punch, crouching medium kick, because that'll pull him over to the other side, and then you can do a free low throw, and it's completely safe. It's like really, really good. There's like a lot of... Like, after using up Sound Stun, since you only get 1 Sound Stun in a combo, you don't want to go for Sweep. You want to go for something that you can do after they're in Sound Stun only, such as A-Train. I mentioned that one. There was like one big one. There was like one big thing where it's like, I probably shouldn't talk about that right now. And it was like... Wasn't the option select, it wasn't parry buffering, it was... Wasn't standing hard into heavy brass. I honestly don't remember, I'm sorry, Dry Eyes. But there were a few other things that I wanted to say about your set. But like I said, don't even worry about it. Focus on getting hit confirms and focus on doing full combos. That's the important thing. Keep playing the game, as Kenji would say. But that's not the only thing I'm saying. Hopefully it's not obvious. Have I entered a tournament? Yeah, I go to almost every major. And I go to the Undisy local. I used to go to the Xanadu local too. There's some footage of me commentating for it. See, the thing is, like, you don't go to tournaments, locals, etc. to just compete. You go there to make friends, to improve, to compete, but also just to support the game. You know, if only people who thought they were gonna win showed up to tournaments, all tournaments would be like 6 people, right? You go there because you love the game. You go there because you want to improve. You want to learn more about the game. You want to learn more about the people that are involved in the game. Like, there's a lot more to tournaments than just competing. See, Yo-Yo shows up to tournaments to have fun. Absolutely. Tournaments are fun. They're a really, really good time. And I still want to money match people in Mario Party, but no one accepts my challenge, and I'm really upset about that. Money match in Mario Party is too risky? I have an 80% win rate in Mario Party. And I'm a gambling man. Which Mario Party? Mario Party 2. Mario Party 3 also, but not as much. First to 10 you and Skullgirls account breaker. We're only gonna play 10 games? Dude, first to 100 me. First to whoever passes out in their chair. It's the run back. You're gonna win the run back first to 10. I am not. Alright, fine. I'm gonna try and get, yeah, first to death. I'll try to, you know what? I want to give you a noteworthy match. I will definitely fight you. I'll see what I can do. Will I stream Skullgirls on Switch? Probably not stream it. I have it. I mean, I don't have it, but like I've already pre-ordered it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna use it. I'm probably gonna play Skullgirls at work with it, but I'm not gonna stream it most likely. As much as I want to, like, we've considered supporting other consoles. Like, we've considered supporting PS4 with Get Great, and supporting, I mean, even Switch, the topic has come up. We're not, it's just not worth it. We don't have the manpower, combined with the fact we don't have the time, combined with the fact that there's not enough of a player base outside of PC. I mean, there is enough of a player base, but not enough people that would regularly attend. Alright, that's not the full lore, Yo-Yo. So Kenji specifically called me out, saying, Crank, your Squiggly sucks. I bet Yo-Yo's Squiggly's better than yours by now. And I'm like, it probably is, but I still think I could beat Yo-Yo. And you're like, no, I think Yo-Yo would beat you, or something like that. Yeah, Kenji specifically called me out on stream. And I'm just like, alright, let's do a first to 10. And then I did a first to 10 against you, and I won 10-9. They won't crossplay Skullgirls? No, unfortunately not. The only game that was crossplay originally was Portal 2. That was the only multi-console crossplay game. All games since then can't be crossplay because a lot of consoles and Valve and all these other companies are they're kind of mad at each other. They basically said never again. Skullgirls, I don't think wants to get on EVO, unlike Unist. So Unist, I'm super proud of. I'm so happy they got to EVO. But Skullgirls got treated very, very poorly when it came to applying for EVO. So I don't think Skullgirls will ever actually get to EVO. Mostly because the community doesn't want it anymore. We were kind of treated like ass. And if you want the full story, remind me next stream. Frank, you're forcing me into intermediate next week. I'm not forcing you. It's technically your try. Your try? Why did I say try? I think I meant just try. It is technically your choice. Whatever. If you're winning every match, Hydra, then you're not improving. You might be improving, but you're not improving as much as you would if you have an even match or like a loss. When I watched you play there, I saw, okay, I don't need to give you beginner advice anymore. I think it'll be much more valuable for you to join intermediate so I can start talking about frame data and start talking about, it's like basically give you that big boost that you need to start hitting that next level of play. Like, you meet the threshold now. You put in the work. I kind of lose my drive to play if I keep winning. It's like a weird problem with me. Like, me and Skullgirls make sense together because I am apparently a masochist, where if I'm not losing, I don't enjoy myself. Really stupid. I've literally, like, if I'm losing like 200 games in a row, I won't quit quick match. But if I win like 5 games in a row, I'll be like, this is dumb, and I'll stop playing. It's really stupid. It's kind of a problem. Hey there, Nougat. Alright, so, as I said earlier, I have to run. So as much as I want to chill and talk to you guys, I do have to go. So I will talk to you guys next time. Reminder, we do go live every Saturday at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, etc., etc. Signups will go live right after this. Or not right after this, probably like tomorrow, actually. And VODs will go up right after this, also tomorrow, probably, but I'm not actually sure. I'll try to get it out tonight. In case you want to watch the VODs right now, they're already uploaded to Twitch. Twitch uploads VODs as soon as we go live. They're there for like 2 weeks, so go ahead and check those out. If you have any questions, try to reach out to me on Discord, but I might be a little bit busy today and tomorrow. What else? Oh yeah, in case you are practicing and think you're taking all the advice we give you here to heart, or no better even, in that case, I highly recommend you compete in Skullgirls Be Great, our Wednesday weekly at 8 p.m. Eastern. Please, please, please tune into that. It's a fun time. Tons of people, tons of big names show up. It's a good viewing experience, and it's also a good participation experience. If you guys want to participate, please do. Beastern. Hey there, Apple. Didn't even know you were here. What's good? Either way, see you guys next time.